last year I went to see Stabbing Westward in Seattle, and this beautiful girl messages me out of nowhere, says, "How was the show?" So I'm thinking like, well, she's cute. We got a lot in common, but there's like Germany, like that's pretty far. I tried my best to maintain some rational, sort of like how well would this work, right? That kind of got beat out by love.
If I remember correctly, I had a little bit of money too. We each had a little bit of money, and we took turns. We took turns like checking each other. Like you would stand behind me, and I would stand behind you, like tell you when to, like, okay, hey, then that's enough. Take that out.
This friend of ours, without our knowing, arranged for the band to dust off like a 20-year-old song they haven't played live in decades. That my wife and I, it's kind of like our song, right? And they brought us up on stage and like serenaded us with this song.
Wow.
And
at the end, within this video, there's going to be some of that footage, which will be something kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really, really awesome, and I can't wait to share it with the fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the fans, right?
Yeah. We could call the.
Yeah, we've literally had like one view on everything lately. So
yeah.
Can you hear me now? All right. Welcome to another Kitchen Sink Microscopy, live almost from Las Vegas. What happens in the kitchen sink stays in the kitchen sink. So like and share and subscribe, motherfucker.
All right. Well, we got ding for language right off the bat. Nice. I'm Rick Rosenblatt, and Casey and I write our own music, so there's probably a new song or maybe an old song you haven't heard in a while at the end of this short video, more than likely. So
maybe even a cover song, because we probably won't be monetized anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
Might as well use all the chances to get demonetized in one episode.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about today, Casey?
Well, I am taking a small trip that is somewhat of a vacation, but there was also like some intent behind it. I came here to get one of those little drive-through weddings done, and that was super cool, right? And it takes like 5 minutes. It was actually pretty, like, it was well done. It was pretty sweet, kind of brought a tear to my eye. It was a really like touching ceremony for being in a car in really, really hot weather, and the car couldn't be on at the time, so we were both sweating like by the end of this 5 minutes, like we're kissing and there's just sweat everywhere, and like but I mean, it was a sweaty romance, but
aren't they all? The best ones are.
Yeah, later that night, Well, let me like preface this with a little bit of a backstory. So my wife and I met through a mutual love for this band, Stabbing Westward. You probably remember them, right? From the
Oh yeah.
90s.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So last year I went to see Stabbing Westward in Seattle, and this beautiful girl messages me out of nowhere, says, "How was the show?" And we just started hitting it off. Turned out she was in Germany, and so I'm thinking like, well, she's cute. We got a lot in common, but there's like Germany, like that's pretty far.
Yeah, just a
So
bit.
I tried my best. I tried my best to maintain some rational, uh, sort of like how well would this work, right? But that kind of got beat out by love,
Mhm.
as often love has a way of kind of taking over rational thought, right? But
Yeah.
it it worked, and there was enough passion there for me to like put in the effort to make it work, and so here we are, uh, getting married, that then I'm gonna try to establish residency over there and stuff. We'll be doing the show from around the world, but currently we are in the same time zone, actually,
Hmm. That's
even if
pretty.
we're several states away.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, the night of the wedding, we go to see Stabbing Westward together in person for the first time. And our friend that flew in from, I think, Minnesota or something, uh, she was our witness at the wedding. She and my wife are like kind of friends with the band. And this friend of ours, without our knowing, arranged for the band to dust off like a 20-year-old song they haven't played live in decades. That my wife and I, it's kind of like our song, right? And they brought us up on stage and like serenaded us with this song.
Wow.
And
That's
so
wild.
like there's like videos on YouTube of us already, and that was like the most incredible, awesome moment. Like teenage Casey would have like made a huge mess in his pants thinking that this would ever happen, right?
Yep.
Like being on stage with this band. Like, this was the first CD I bought with my own money. This band,
Oh wow.
Stabbing Westward. Like that's how much like their music has meant to me over the years, and to my wife too. Like
Mhm.
so we really bonded on it. It was super poetic that like that could kind of cap off our wedding day.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so we're here in Vegas and just kind of like chilling like a villain. And
Well, not really chilling considering it's probably
no,
quite hot there.
no, yeah, even the pool is hot. So
Oh, jeez.
so that's kind of what's going on here. How are things in rainy Washington?
It's like mid 80s right now.
Ladies, what?
Yeah. We might be almost the same kind of temperature range right now. Pretty
It's
insane.
actually 36 here, but oh, I'm on Celsius nowadays. So.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of funny. I prefer using metric for everything except temperature. For
Yeah,
general like casual like, oh, it's this hot or that. Because Fahrenheit has a finer amount of details, whereas like in Celsius, 1 degree is a big change. Whereas in Fahrenheit, 1 degree is
yeah,
a very small change. So it's like I just prefer it. I think it's got a
yeah.
little bit more
No, I
broad
do too
spectrum.
because like even though it doesn't make sense from the perspective of like uh a logical starting point, like zero for freezing water or whatever, it
Hmm.
makes sense from like a set point human like egocentric sort of uh,
Exactly.
scale, right?
Yeah,
Like where
exactly.
most people are comfortable, and then from there on, like what's cold, what's hot is
The
just as
way,
subjective as it should be. But
yeah, and uh-oh, I might be losing you might be off.
uh,
Wait, no, you're back. Okay.
getting a little choppy.
No, it's good now. You're good now. Yeah. But going back into that though, like, um, wait, maybe I. Oh no, wait, there you are. You're back.
Recording in progress.
Yep,
Uh,
we're still good. We're still
yeah,
good.
yeah, Verizon sucks. They
Yeah.
used to be good.
So okay, well, oh yeah. Assuming we don't lose you again, I was just gonna finish up. I was saying about temperatures though, like Celsius makes a good sense for science, right? Free 0
Yeah,
to 100, that kind of thing makes perfect sense. But Fahrenheit makes perfect sense for humans. Whereas, we
right.
don't care necessarily about when water freezes or boils. We care about when we die. So 0 is the death point for humans, and 100 is the death point on the high end. So it's like, if it goes below 0, you're totally going to die. And if it goes above 100, you're totally going to die. Like it's very dangerous. So that
Without
Fahrenheit
internet.
makes perfect sense when you're talking about the weather, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
that,
no, that's a perfect way to put it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of funny. Like even a short way into this episode, we've gone from weddings to Fahrenheit versus Celsius.
Yeah, I know, that is funny. We have a way of doing that. So is there any other stuff like you had that you were thinking, thoughts about your current goings on and stuff?
Not a whole lot. I'm just trying to figure out like what kind of sinning I would like to do in Sin City. Uh,
Hmm.
I haven't gambled, and I don't even know that I will. Like, it's not really my thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Apart from that one time when all we had was $10 between the two of us, and we had to pay our rent the next day,
Yep.
and the rent was $800 at the time, I think,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
And we went to the casino like fuck it, it's $10, like that's we're not gonna like be like, oh, if I hadn't spent that $10, I would have had my 800 today. No, like so we
Exactly.
go into the casino and hit the slot machine for like 3 spins, and like I just like took the ticket out nonchalantly, and I don't even think you realized what happened. And I went to the cashier and like got some money, and we walked out, and you
Well,
were
I
like,
think
well, what are we gonna do about rent? And I was like, well, I got $800.
yeah, yeah. I think we no, if I remember correctly, I had a little bit of money too. We each had a little bit of money, and we
Oh,
took turns. We took turns like checking each other. Like you would stand behind me, and I would stand behind you, like tell you when to, like, okay, hey, then that's enough. Take that out, you know. And we were being followed by security. If I remember correctly, we caught their attention.
that definitely happened to me the last time I was in Vegas, like 17 years ago. Because I think you told me this. There was kind of an algorithm to the slot machines. If you didn't win by the third spin, cash out, move on to the next machine.
Hmm.
And so I was doing that. I'd do 3 spins, cash out, move to the next machine. Before long, I noticed this guy in a suit and dark glasses following me around, looking like looking like that guy from that invoice we sent Sutton when he owed me, like he had a book that was he was borrowing for a long time.
Yeah, that's
I,
right.
I made him this late fee invoice with like big Bruno looking guy.
But with exorbitant charges. Remember, it was like helicopter delivery fee or something like that. And his wife at the time was the one that opened that letter, and she freaked out on him. She's like, "What? What is this?"
Helicopter delivery fee. Like, that's it, right?
Yeah,
What did you order, Sutton?
I know. She was so pissed at him, and he's like, "I don't even know what this is. What is this?"
That's like the best prank ever.
Oh yeah, God. Oh my God. We should totally do that more. That's great. Send invoices to random houses with like crazy charges.
Yeah,
Oh man, that would be great.
hell yeah.
Oh,
Well, well. Anyway, after that show, a bunch of people came up to me and said they're gonna send me videos they took of the concert.
mhm.
So I was thinking, like, once I get some of that and I get home and I've got a little time, I might splice together a nice like fan music video like we do, but
Mhm.
a little more personalized. And
Yeah.
maybe we could throw that into this episode, and of course not be monetized because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well,
what the hell? And
that's
then
fine.
yeah, then for shits and giggles, we might as well do a song where we can't really take credit for it either. So,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, why not?
so this will be a totally unusual episode of Kitchen Sink Microscopist.
Yep. Well, man, the craziest thing is like I have for pretty much the whole entire time, this has been my background. And you've had
Yeah,
many, many different backgrounds, and this is yet another new one.
the deserts of Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. As people casually stroll by drinking a Mountain Dew or something.
or a beer.
Yep. Oh,
Because
man.
yeah, you can totally drink on the street here, which is the
That-
way it should be,
yeah, it should be.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, you can do that anywhere in Germany too.
Hmm.
Like
Wow.
like even in the grocery store, you can like grab a beer off the shelf, crack it open. I mean, as long as you go pay for the can or the bottle or
Of
whatever.
course.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, that's how it should be.
it should be that way. Yeah. It's like what is actually the problem with consuming alcohol while you're walking around?
Which yeah, you're right, because it's like, well, they don't necessarily get you if you've already consumed it and you're walking around.
Exactly.
Like you've had a
And
beer in a bar and then you go walking down the sidewalk, no problem. But if you carry that beer with you and drink it, well, that's a
yeah,
problem. How does that make
and
any?
it's not like marijuana. It's not like marijuana where the second you like inhale, you're high.
Mhm.
Like you can't be drunk and disorderly by cracking a beer and taking a couple sips.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
not even if you're a lightweight. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna take some time, you
that's
know?
true. Oh, that's so, yeah, there's a lot of like hypocritical things like that just like don't make any
Yeah,
sense. Well, like actually you're in Vegas now, so you could go visit a brothel in that area. You've got
yeah.
that option. Yeah.
Which is also actually okay in Germany.
Yeah.
They've got a few apparently.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean,
I guess the famous one in Cologne. I never even knew about it, but you know, and then of course there's the red light district in Amsterdam, over in the Netherlands and stuff. Like
yeah.
Europe has really got their shit together as far as like common sense goes, I think. And that
Think.
stands to reason. They're an older culture, right? An
Mhm.
older society. You know, like they've had thousands of years on this country. So
Yeah, yeah, they've had a
I
lot of
guess it
time to
can't be
sort their shit
too
out.
hard. Yeah, but you know, like it also doesn't really give us the excuse because we could be looking at our older brothers and sisters and learning from their mistakes, but instead we're just deciding to make our own mistakes, like the rebels that we are,
Yeah, well, I think a lot
and
of
not learning from.
no, and I think a lot of things come back to like the Puritan origins of the U.S.,
Yeah,
where there's a lot of that was kind of at the heart of the beginnings, and it kind of just persisted over time, and we haven't gone back and been like, but this doesn't make any sense, you know. So
yeah,
even though there's been a lot of influence and a lot of changes, and most people would not agree with the whole Puritan philosophy, people somehow, even still, it like they're still siding with the Puritans. Yeah, like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
understand that.
yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense at all.
No. Well, and
Uh,
really nothing does in that regard. Like nobody's really logically looking at things and saying like, hey, why don't we come up with something that makes sense and build it around that. There's always
yeah,
feelings and stuff, and people, they don't want people to do something they don't like, even if it has no impact on them whatsoever.
yeah.
That's the
Has
thing.
that has that ever been the motivation behind starting a country? Hey, let's make this make sense this time. You know?
I don't think so. I no, I don't think anybody's really tried that. Like, oh, hey, why don't we build something based on like the scientific method, you know? And
Yeah,
like that's I don't think that's ever been tried. And if you propose it to an existing country, they'd be like, oh, well, no, that might be oh, that doesn't blah, 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 blah. Like they just ugh. Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it's
yeah.
just doesn't
Kind
make
of funny. We've actually covered some really good topics that we should do whole episodes on.
I think, yeah, we should. Absolutely. Very much. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we've kind of, some of the things we talked about sort of go in there, but I think
yeah,
the whole like metric thing makes, that would be kind of an interesting, I mean, I've done a minute microscopy about a couple things in that regard, but There's like, that would be an interesting discussion about like why the US is not officially using metric, even though unofficially it is.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at least when it comes to like science, like our prescription drugs are in milligrams and all that stuff, instead of like take 1/364 of a cup of Tylenol, and
yeah, well, then they'll measure it in like grains or something and some other weird wackadoodle measurements. There's no consistency there. Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah, science definitely is very much based in metric. Also, industry is as well. Almost all industry is metric, and so it's like for all intents and purposes, the U.S. does use metric. It's just the average person doesn't, and on like officially, it's not like the standard. Even though, like, if you look at the standards in the U.S., they're based on metric. So
right,
when they specify what a pound is or whatever, it's like it's stated in metric. So it's just like, just because our street signs aren't like in kilometers, doesn't mean we're not actually using it in the back end.
Well, there's a dark tinted vehicle sitting behind me. They're probably onto me.
Uh-oh.
Nah. But I should probably maybe wrap this up, keep it short. I gotta get back to my hot wife. There's things I'd rather be doing than the show right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we'll then make another appointment to record something a little longer. But at least at the end, within this video, there's going to be some of that footage, which will be something kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really, really awesome, and I can't wait to share it with the fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the fans, right?
Yeah. We could call these.
Yeah, we've literally had like one view on everything lately. So
yeah. Well, maybe this will help, because we could call these kitchen sink microscopy. So these are like the ones that are kind of in between the minute microscopies and the full length episode. Yeah, digestible 20 minutes, not so bad. Yeah,
right on.
All right. Well, I guess
thanks for deep sink diving into Sin City.
Yeah, I guess we were kind of shallow sink diving this time.
Yeah,
we're just kind of treading water
the
for
desert. There's not a lot of deep water out here in the
desert. No, not at all. Well, yeah, I guess enjoy all that video stuff that's coming up, and have a great day or night or whatever, everybody.
Viva Kitchen Sink.
This is a little weird. I haven't done this for a little while, so this is a little weird. It's Dad's story time. We played in Texas last week. I don't know why you're cheering for Texas. And we have some fans that follow us around to a lot of shows, which is awesome. We love to see them. One of them, who we hadn't seen for a while, because we didn't play for a while, came up and said, I have a special request, and Walter said, we don't take requests. Which is true. And she said, do you remember Franzi, our German friend that followed us around? And I said, yeah. Well, actually, she's talking to Walter. I didn't say yeah, I wasn't there. And she goes, Franzi's getting married, and her favorite song is this one song you guys used to play. And she told Walter the song. And he goes, we're not going to play that. And so then she asked Bobby. And Bobby said, I don't know who you are, but we're not going to play that. And then she asked me, I'm like, okay. Because I'm not the nice guy in the band, but the sucker who does everything that is. So I went to amazing lengths to put together a new version of the song. And then right before, because Franzi was getting married and we were going to do this whole thing, and then right before we went on, I said, Walter, can you check and see that they didn't get cold feet or something, because that would be really fucking embarrassing. And he did, and they didn't come. And it's like,
Yeah, we did.
It's true. And so we're gonna play a song that we had no intention of ever playing again. So put your phones away. Do not record this.
I told them beforehand because you guys weren't gonna be here.
This is a love song. All I need is a beer ball. All your screens away. Think you find the strength to go on living? What? Hi! Well, now I'm an asshole. No, cause I lost everything I open up and let them dance. Be a creep as long as you're beside. This is your first dance. Can you let them up here? Everything, come on. The only thing that matters. They're right there. This is everything, the only thing I need. This is everything, the only thing I need. This is everything, the only thing I need. room, guys. So that makes me simultaneously the good guy and the asshole. It's awesome. Congrats, bro. We've determined that Patch is completely unreliable.
This time I hold in my hand 2 tickets to the promised land. You have come to me in countless dreams in the night, cherished as a memory. Built through years in our hearts, in every failed love. I've never found anyone like you. Let this be our last new love. I don't know what I'd be without you in my life.